Witamy Was serdecznie w Kujawsko-Pomorskiej Szkole Do You Speak English? Do you speak English? Yes or no? Takim prowokacyjnym pytaniem zaczynamy. Dzień dobry Pani Olu.
Dzień dobry.
Co dzisiaj na lekcji?
A dzisiaj sobie porozmawiamy na tej pierwszej lekcji o naturze troszeczkę i pogodzie, bo to się bardzo przydaje i może takie trochę bardziej wyszukane słówka dla Was dzisiaj mam. A na następnej lekcji to się dowiemy na następnej. Hello, hello. How are you today on this lovely evening, isn't it? It's not very lovely because the weather is horrible. It's drizzling and it's quite chilly, I would say. And imagine that I had huge problems in coming here. There was so much traffic that I just got so nervous about being late. But here I am, I managed. Słuchajcie, tak się zestresowałam tymi korkami dzisiaj, co są, że nie macie pojęcia. A jeszcze pogoda nie pomaga, no a my dzisiaj o pogodzie, okej? I troszeczkę o tych naturalnych fenomenach, bo jak wiemy, katastrofach też, jak wiemy, nasza pogoda nie jest taka, jak była kiedyś, troszeczkę bardziej to się wszystko zaostrza i troszeczkę bardziej jest dramatyczne i właśnie o tym dzisiaj będzie. So, let's start talking about the weather. I'm sure you've already know many weather words, but you forget how to use them. And actually saying that it's sunny, it's rainy, it's cold, it's not exactly what we want to hear from you. You can use some other words, and that's what I want to talk about today. So we're going to go through all the seasons, and we're going to kind of try to revise the words connected with weather for spring, for summer, for autumn, and for winter. And let's start with spring, sorry. What's the weather like in spring? So do you like spring? I do love spring. Spring is great. Spring is actually really nice season for me because it's not too hot and it's not too cold, and I enjoy springtime. And the flowers are blooming, so that's also nice. So let's look at the first word. It's damp. Do you know what does it mean that it's damp? When you say that it's damp, it means that you can kind of feel droplets of water on your face, but it's kind of nice, much nicer than in autumn. It's a nice feeling, it's a fresh feeling. To oznacza wilgotne, ale to jest takie bardziej, bym powiedziała, pozytywne znaczenie tego słowa, niż byśmy mieli użyć to słowo dla jesieni. It's damp, it's nice. You can feel kind of water on your face, but it's nice feeling, okay? Another word, it's cool. It's cool. It's not exactly cold and it's not exactly warm, but it's cool. So basically, you can kind of wear a shirt or a hoodie and you are okay. You don't have to wear a jacket, you don't have to wear a coat. You're feeling okay when it's cool. Jest chłodno, ale to też nie jest negatywne słowo. No, oznacza, że jest tak chłodno, ale okay. Next one, it's brisk. It's brisk. It's a nice word to say that it's kind of cold in the morning, but it's cold and sunny and it makes you wanna live, wanna do something. To jest tak rzeźko, to jest też pozytywne słowo, zapamiętajcie sobie, bo jest bardzo fajne, szczególnie jeżeli mówimy o pogodzie, o poranku. So it's brisk. It wasn't brisk today. No, it wasn't. Okay, so it means like it is windy and cold, but it feels good. That's what brisk means, okay? It's sunny. That's an obvious word. I'm not going to talk about it too much because I'm sure you know what it means. It's rainy, you also know what it means. There's no need to talk about it. It's cloudy, you also know what it means. So those are like simple words, and we're not gonna kind of ponder on them too long because you already know them, but please do use them when you talk about the weather. It's foggy. Okay, it's a nice word, especially if you talk about the weather in, for example, England, because it's always foggy. So actually, in every season of the year, I think you can use the word foggy to describe the season, okay? The weather is changeable. What does it mean that the weather is changeable? It means that one day it's kind of cool and nice and you like it and it's brisk, and the other day it's a bit rainy, it's a bit colder, you're not feeling so okay. And it's changed from one day to other day, it's completely different, so it changes quickly. This is what spring is like, okay? Let's move on to the other season. The next season actually, is summer. Okay, I've got some nice words for you for summer. First one, it's boiling. Well, this is actually pretty much how I'm feeling right now. It's really hot here, as if I was like having a hot bath. This is what boiling means. It's so hot that you are kind of You feel uncomfortable, but I've got even better words. There is a heat wave. You know, when sometimes in summer you've got like a time, like a week or more, when it's very, 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 very hot, then you call it a heat wave. So if you have a heat wave, it's really, really hot for a longer time than one day. Okay, next one, it's muggy and hazy. Oh, these are my favorite words. They're kind of Canadian, I'd say. Muggy. Do you know what does mug mean? A mug is kind of a big container, big mug when you drink your coffee or tea, and usually you want to drink your coffee or tea hot. So if it's muggy, it's as hot as you can drink this coffee, so very hot. And hazy, it means that you can't almost, you know, like see normal. You find like the images in front of you kind of melting, you're not sure what's going on. It's so hot that basically you feel like in a desert. So muggy and hazy would be good words to describe the weather in a desert. There has just been a downpour. Has anybody heard about downpour? Downpour is like a short period of rain, but this rain must be like really, really, really hard, and there must be a lot of water coming down from clouds. So it's a short but intense rain. It's stormy. That's an obvious one. You know what it means. It's stormy, that you have thunders and lightnings coming. It's hailing. This is something we experience sometimes in Poland. Actually, I think quite often right now. Hail is kind of ice. It's like big or smaller balls of ice that come down from the sky, usually when it's hot and suddenly it becomes cold. This is when it happens. Hail to jest po prostu grad. It's hailing, to znaczy, że pada grad. This usually happens in the summer. It's sunny, well, you know it. We're not going to talk about it. And it's stormy, oh, again, sorry, because summers are really stormy, okay? And what's the weather like in autumn? How about autumn? Do you like autumn? I like this kind of Polish autumn when we have, you know, nice sunny days with quite warm temperature, and when you have those beautiful colors around you, when you've got red, yellow and brown leaves falling down the streets, and when it's nice and you want to go mushrooming, that kind of autumn I like. But today wasn't like that at all. It hasn't been like that. Actually, it's quite awful. It's drizzling now. You know what does drizzle mean? We talked about a downpour just a second ago. A downpour is a kind of big rain in a short time, right? And drizzle is like small rain throughout the whole day, okay, or throughout a longer time. So you feel like kind of little droplets of water coming onto your head, but it's not really uncomfortable, but it's not nice either, so it's hard to explain. This is mrzawka in Polish, a very good word to describe weather in autumn. This is how it is today, in Toruń at least. It's drizzling. It's foggy. We know what it means. When you can't see, you know, what's in front of you because there is some kind of white substance, like a mist, all over the place. This is called foggy, and this usually happens in autumn. But in London, as I said, it happens every day. It's chilly. We talked about brisk, right? And we talked about cool. And chilly is a similar word, but cool and brisk are kind of more positive than chilly. Chilly is not very nice, you know, like cold but windy, and not nice, not cold and windy and nice and sunny, like not really nice experience. Chilly is chłodno, but brisk we also would say rzeźko. Cool we would say chłodno, but when we want to differentiate between the word chilly and cool, cool is more positive and chilly is more negative for me, okay, and for some people. It's getting cold. That's what we can say about the changing weather in autumn. So I think it's getting cold now because in the morning it was much more warmer. We had a bit of sun, but now it's really getting cold. It's breezy. It means that you've got like wind, but not very strong wind, but some kind of wind going on all the time. It's breezy. The temperature sometimes drops below zero. So it means that it's colder than it usually is, and it goes down below 0 centigrade. Okay? Czyli temperatura spada poniżej 0, to też warto sobie zapamiętać, jeżeli mówimy o pogodzie jesienią. And what's the weather like in winter? Okay, how about winter? Do you like winter? I love winter. That's my favorite season of the year, and I hope this year we're going to have a lot of snow. Okay, so the first word that is connected with temperature, it's freezing. It's freezing means that it's really, really cold. You know what a freezer is, right? You've got a fridge and you've got a freezer. Freezer is where you keep ice cream, for example. So when it's freezing, you really like that, right? So it's not very nice. Actually, it's quite bad. So when it's freezing, it's not a nice feeling of cold. It's, how to say, it's about, for me, it's like 12 degrees below zero. That's freezing for me. But you may have different tolerance. It's frosty. It means that it's there is frost outside. Frost freezes things. I'm sure you know the carol Frosty the Snowman, right? Okay, so if something is frosty, if the weather is frosty, it means there is frost. Mroźno, okay, but it's not as bad as freezing. Freezing is much worse, okay? Next word, the rain turned into sleet. Oh, sleet is something horrible. You know, this kind of, you were hoping for nice snow drops falling from the sky, snowflakes, and then there it comes. It looks like rain, but it changes into some white things that are not exactly snowflakes, but they are not, and when they go down to the earth, they immediately become water, and this is called sleet, okay? So, how to say? How to call it in Polish, the rain turned into sleet. Okay, I'll think about it because I think I lost the word. Chyba zgubiłam słowo. Sleet. Okay? Jak to się nazywa po polsku? Dobra, przyjdzie mi za moment. W każdym razie to jest jak deszcz się robi taki śnieżny. O, deszcz ze śniegiem. This is it. I don't like it. Horrible. Don't recommend it. There was a blizzard yesterday, and that's what I like. A blizzard is when there is a lot of snow and a lot of wind, and you can't almost see anything because there is so much snow falling, and the world looks nice. And it's icy. There are icy winds. When it's icy, it means you can slip. You know what does slip mean? To fall down. Because it's so icy, there is some ice on the ground, so you can fall down. You have to be careful. And when you say the winds are icy, it means that they are really cold. So you feel like when the wind comes, you feel like that. Yes, icy winds. Okay? And we have a whiteout. I'd love to have that one day in Poland. You know, you open your door, and you can't see anything else but snow. So snow everywhere. That's a whiteout. I think you can see that in some films, or maybe when you visit Canada, you can see whiteouts. I've never experienced a whiteout in Poland, but I hope for one because I love snow. Some roads have been blocked by snowdrift. This actually happens. A snowdrift is like a pile of snow, which has been kind of made by wind, so the wind kind of blew the snow into one place and then becomes like a little mountain, little hill out of snow. It's called a snowdrift, zaspa. So some roads have been blocked by snowdrifts. Niektóre drogi zostały zablokowane przez zaspy. I've experienced that last year. W zeszłym roku tego doświadczyłam. Nie było miło na drodze. Okay, and now let's look at some extreme weather and natural phenomena. Okay, you know what is that, right? Everybody knows what is that. Actually, this is not a hurricane, this is a tornado. But what is a hurricane? Hurricane is a very strong wind with a lot of rain coming. Usually it's in some kind of, I would say, coastal areas. So hurricanes are big winds with a lot of rain coming, and they are very dangerous because they can absolutely destroy beaches, towns in the coastal area. Flood. Flood is when there has been a lot of rain over a short period of time, and there's too much water kind of in the rivers, and the rivers overbank, and the water comes out of the river banks and floods the city. So there is water everywhere, in the streets, in the houses even. I think we have floods quite often in Poland, actually. We usually have them in summer, and in spring, and sometimes in autumn, and we have to be careful. We have to get insurance against it. Actually, I had a flood last year in my flat, but it wasn't a flood connected with any kind of natural phenomena. It was connected with my broken tap. Okay, tornado and twister, that's what you have in the picture. It's a really, really strong wind, which kind of circulates around and destroys everything on its road. I'm sure you've heard about twisters and tornadoes. I'd love to see one live, but I'm not sure if I will be able to see it, but it must be exciting. Drought. Like we had floods. Floods are a lot of water everywhere, and drought is the opposite, like there's no water everywhere. We could say that there is a permanent drought in Sahara Desert, okay, in the Sahara Desert. Drought is susha, right? So there is no water, there is shortage of water, and it's also a catastrophe when there is not enough water for people, for plants, and for animals. Sandstorm. This can actually happen even in Poland, I heard. A sandstorm is when there's very, very strong wind and the sand kind of starts to behave like snow and it goes up and it blocks the view. You can't see much. It's not very nice. You can't breathe properly and it's all dark, dark outside. You can experience that normally in desert areas, but I've heard that it happened in Poland as well, I think last year. Snowstorm. Snowstorm is like sandstorm, but without snow, but with snow. So you can guess what it is. It's very, very strong snowfall. Thunderstorm. You know what thunder is, right? Thunder is the sound that we can hear when there is a storm, and lightning is this kind of light coming from the sky. Thunderstorm has a lightning and thunders. If you look at the picture next to this tornado, you also have a lightning and a thunderstorm because they sometimes go together. Okay, do you like thunderstorms? Not really. Okay, and have you ever experienced anything like that, any phenomenon like that? Was it bad for you? Did you like it? Because I think they are all very interesting, but we actually, can't really relate when we live in normal towns. Like I live in Toronto, we can experience maybe a flood a little bit, but like I said, my flood was caused by tubs. I remember seeing some water in Boulevard in Toronto, I think like 5 or 6 years ago, but we don't really experience many actually natural phenomena which are catastrophic. So I think, but sometimes you have to write about it. So it's useful to know the words. And to prove you that you must know these words and they are necessary, I'm going to show you a few tasks from the exam. Okej, i słuchajcie, teraz na momencik na polski. Za momencik sobie zerkniemy na takie zadanie, w którym właśnie pojawiają się słówka pogodowe. To jest zadanie na czytanie. Pokazywałam Wam w zeszłym tygodniu tą książkę, to jest egzamin ósmoklasisty, język angielski, testy z wydawnictwa Lingo i polecam Wam ją serdecznie, bo jest w przystępnej cenie i można sobie również ściągnąć w PDF-ie bez wychodzenia w domu i zerknijmy na zadanie. Waszym zadaniem jest przeczytać tekst, z którego usunięto 4 zdania. W każdą lukę trzeba wpisać jedną literę A do E z tego zestawu, aby otrzymać logiczny i spójny tekst. Jedno zdanie jak zwykle jest dodatkowe i teraz powinniśmy przeczytać cały tekst. To ja szybciutko przez ten tekst, że tak powiem, przebrnę za Was i skrócimy sobie, opowiemy o czym on jest. Today is Saturday and the weather is beautiful, so we decided to have a bike trip. I took some food and 2 bottles of water. We met at the bus stop at 4 p.m. and rode towards the forest. We were talking all the time. I had a really nice time. Suddenly, when we were in the forest, the wind started to blow really heavily. We decided to look for a place to hide. Unfortunately, it was hard in the forest. We sat under the tree and waited for the rain to stop. The downpour lasted about half an hour. When we got back home, our parents were worried but happy to see us. No to już widzimy, że ten tekstik opisuje nam przygodę, jak kogoś złapała ulewa. I jak widzicie, mamy słowo downpour, warto je zapamiętać. Krótki deszczyk, półgodzinny, ale ostry. I po prostu z tym związane są pewne przygody. Zerknijmy sobie na wyrażenia, na zdania A, B, C, D i E. Zdanie A. A few minutes later it was pouring. Kilka minut później już lało. A few minutes later we were home. Kilka minut później byliśmy w domu. Despite the bad weather, we really had a nice time. Pomimo złej pogody naprawdę nieźle się bawiliśmy. We were soaked. Byliśmy przemoczeni. I also asked my friend to come with me. Poprosiłem kolegę, żeby ze mną poszedł. No i z nami poszedł. Ze mną poszedł. I zerknijmy, co my tam mamy. Today is Saturday, the weather is beautiful, so we decided to have a bike trip. I took some food and 2 bottles of water, a potem mamy we met. No to potrzebne nam jest chyba to zaproszenie kogoś innego, prawda? Czyli wypowiedź E. I also asked my friend to come with me. No i zerknijmy na 6.2. Suddenly, when we were in the forest, the wind started to blow really heavily. Czyli wiemy już, że zaczęło wiać. I po luce, po 6.2 mamy we decided to look for a place to hide. No to jak zaczęło wiać, to potem kolejny deszcz, jak już wiemy, że był downpour, to powinno być kolejny krok, jak już wiemy, że później był downpour, powinno być to padanie, tak? A few minutes later it was pouring. Po kilku minutach już lało, czyli wypowiedź A. I 6.3. The downpour lasted about half an hour, czyli ulewa trwała pół godziny, a potem mamy when we got back home, our parents were worried but happy to see us. No to co tam pomiędzy możemy włożyć? No oczywiście we were soaked, byliśmy przemoczeni, bo przez pół godziny jak siedzieli pod tym drzewem, no to wiadomo, że zmokli, a potem już mamy o rodzicach. I teraz jeszcze potrzebowalibyśmy na koniec jakieś podsumowanie tego opowiadania, tej krótkiej historii, no i myślę, że najlepiej nam będzie pasowała wypowiedź C. Despite the bad weather, we really had a nice time. Także zobaczcie, już mamy jedno zadanie, ale to nie wszystko, bo ja mam następne zadanie, również z tej samej pozycji książkowej i to jest zadanie, w którym z kolei musimy wykorzystać swoją wiedzę związaną ze środkami językowymi, a też już o pogodzie i warto zrozumieć te słówka. Zobaczcie, mamy do wyboru tutaj odpowiedzi A, B i C i 3 luki. Trzeba wybrać takie słówko, które będzie najlepiej pasowało do luki. To zerknijmy na pierwsze. Cały tekst jest, może Wam króciutko powiem, o klimacie w Polsce, czyli znowu mamy pogodę, jaka pogoda jest wiosną, jaka pogoda jest jesienią, jaka jest zimą i musimy uzupełnić luki. To zerknijmy na pierwsze zdanie. The climate in Poland is moderate. Moderate znaczy umiarkowany. In the spring it is sunny and warm. No to mamy do wyboru usually, never i rarely. Ponieważ mniej więcej wiemy, jak to jest wiosną w Polsce. Czy nigdy u nas nie jest słonecznie i zimno, czy może zazwyczaj, czy może rzadko? No mi się wydaje, że zazwyczaj. In the spring it's usually sunny and warm. I to jest dobra odpowiedź. In the summers the sun shines all the time and it's very hot. Sometimes there is a storm and a rainfall. In the autumn it rains. I w jaki sposób może padać? Mamy 3 wyrażenia. A lot of i lot. One wszystkie oznaczają dużo, ale jaka jest pomiędzy nimi różnica? A mianowicie takiego jak lot to w ogóle nie możemy wstawić na końcu zdania. Po a lot of potrzebowalibyśmy jakiegoś tam dopełnienia jakiegoś rzeczownika, na przykład a lot of rain albo a lot of snow, ale nie mamy też żadnego rzeczownika po tym, więc zostaje nam jedno, a lot i to jest dobra odpowiedź. It's cloudy and windy. The are the winters. No i mamy the, czyli powinniśmy użyć przymiotnika w stopniu najwyższym, prawda? A mamy przymiotniki w formie bad, worse i the worst. Który stopień jest ich najwyższy? Oczywiście, że the worst. The worst are the winters. It snows a lot. It's very cold and even freezing cold. I zobaczcie, zrobiliśmy właśnie zadanko związane z pogodą, którego być może byście nie zrozumieli, gdybyście nie znali tych słówek związanych z pogodą i z porami roku. A jest to zadanie na środki językowe, a nie stricte na rozumienie tekstu. To więc wróćmy jeszcze do jednego zadania. To jest zadanie, które ściągnęłam ze strony CKE. To jest zestawy zadań powtórkowych. Nie pamiętam, to chyba był dzień 4 zeszłego roku. I tutaj mamy taki długi tekst, z którego usunięto znowu fragmenty tekstu. Oczywiście jedno wyrażenie jest za dużo i nie pasuje nam całe jedno zdanie do całego tekstu, a tekst jest o pogodzie w zimę i o indyjskim rozumieniu przepowiadania pogody. Okay, so once the Navajo Indians asked their new leader Keme if the coming winter was going to be cold. However, he knew it was good to be prepared, so he told his people to collect firewood. To make sure his decision was right, Keme decided to ask for advice. He called the National Weather Service. It looks like this winter is going to be quite cold, the weatherman said. Then the leader told people to collect even more wood. A week later, Keme called the weather service again. Is it going to be a very cold winter? He asked. The leader went back to his people and ordered them to collect every piece of firewood they could find. 2 weeks later, Keme called the weather service for the 3rd time. Are you sure the winter is going to be freezing cold? Absolutely, the man responded. The Indians are collecting extra supplies of firewood, came the reply to Keme's question. No i możemy sobie, słuchajcie, wyobrazić, że to z tymi Indianami, tak jak z naszymi góralami, przepowiadają pogodę, ale tutaj był młody wódz i potrzebował się upewnić, no i że tak powiem, panowie połączyli siły i wyszła z tego taka historia, że na początku to Keme nie wiedział, jaka będzie pogoda i to drewno kazał zbierać na wszelki wypadek, a potem pan meteorolog powiedział mu, że jego wnioskiem logicznym, że pogoda będzie okropna tej zimy, to jest właśnie to, że Indianie zbierają dużo drewna. To zerknijmy, jakich zdań brakuje nam. Zdanie A. Again the meteorologist confirmed that it was, czyli kolejny raz meteorolog potwierdził, że będzie ta zima taka ostra. To get some, he decided to contact some expert. Żeby się czegoś dowiedzieć, zdecydował się skontaktować z ekspertami. Surprisingly, czyli ku jego zdziwieniu, the new leader wanted to collect wood himself. Nowy lider chciał sam pozbierać drewno. This time Keme wanted to know why the meteorologist thought so. Tym razem Keme chciał wiedzieć, dlaczego meteorolog tak właśnie myśli. Poor Keme wasn't experienced and had no idea how to answer this question. Poor Keme, czyli biedny Keme, nie był doświadczonym wodzem i nie wiedział, jak odpowiedzieć na to pytanie. I zerknijmy sobie na pierwszą lukę. Once the Navajo Indians asked their new leader Keme if the coming winter was going to be cold. No i potem mamy however, he knew it was good to be prepared. Co tam możemy wstawić w lukę? Oczywiście, że on nie wiedział jeszcze, nie znał się za bardzo na obserwowaniu pogody, może w indiański sposób, ale na wszelki wypadek polecił im to drewno zbierać, bo może być oczywiście zimno. Więc he told his people to collect firewood. To make sure his decision was right, Keme decided to ask for advice. No i widzimy tu, że Keme chciał się kogoś poradzić. No a kogo on mógł się poradzić? No, ekspertów, prawda? So, to get some, he decided to contact some experts. No i lecimy dalej do 1.3. I tu mamy już, jak Keme dzwoni jeszcze raz do tego meteorologa. A week later, Keme called the weather service again. Is it going to be very cold winter? He asked. No i co na to mu powiedział meteorolog? Again, the meteorologist confirmed that it was. No, potwierdził mu, że ta pogoda będzie właśnie w zimę bardzo nieprzyjazna. No i zerknijmy na ostatni. No i już Keme zaczyna się tak jakby upewniać, czy ten meteorolog wie w ogóle, co on mówi. To mamy takie pytanie. Are you sure the weather in winter is going to be freezing cold? Absolutely, the man responded, czyli oczywiście odpowiedział mężczyzna. I potem mamy the Indians are collecting extra supplies of firewood. Indianie zbierają ekstra, tak jakby ekstra zapasy drewna. No to co tu będzie za wypasowało nam do luki? Tym razem Keme chciał wiedzieć, dlaczego meteorolog właśnie tak myśli. This time Keme wanted to know why the meteorologist thought so. I rozwiązaliśmy kolejne zadanie. To zadanie jest, jak widzicie, też związane z pogodą. Polecam Wam zerknąć jeszcze na więcej zadań z Centralnej Komisji Egzaminacyjnej i w ogóle zerknąć na stronę Komisji Egzaminacyjnej, przejrzeć sobie stare arkusze. Oczywiście u mnie ich będzie więcej, ale pamiętajcie, że sami też możecie poćwiczyć. Słuchajcie, to wszystko w tym temacie ode mnie. Gdybyście mieli pytania, to czekam na nie zawsze. Dzięki.